Hello. Before we get into this week's episode, I just wanted to say a very quick thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting this podcast, and thank you for rating and subscribing to this podcast. It really helps me to continue to do something that is really meaningful to me. And if you haven't yet subscribed or rated the podcast, if you could take a quick 30 seconds to do that, it doesn't cost you a thing. And it really means I can continue to bring you incredible stories, expert advice, and hopefully some laughs as well. So once again, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Jackie Tan podcast. Today I have an incredibly special guest, Robby Lippett, who is taking on an extraordinary challenge to raise funds and awareness for childhood dementia in South Australia. Robby is a former soccer player. He's the founder of Attaboy Barbers and Hairdressers, Loxley Coffee, Clubhouse Media, and Boy Oh Boy Barbers. And whilst some would say that sounds like a lot for one person, Robby would probably say, what's next? And what's next is on Sunday, December 1st, Robby will be running from Victor Harbour to Glenelg. His goal is to raise $80,000 with every $1,000 representing 1 kilometre of his run. What's really incredible, or insane, depending on how you look at it, is that Robby has never run more than 5 kilometres and openly admits he hates running. But his dedication to this cause is so strong that he's taking on this huge challenge anyway. In this conversation today, I chat with Robby about the impact of childhood dementia, how his training is going to raise the funds, and also the crazy challenges his mates are throwing at him to raise these funds. It's a really fun conversation that will hopefully also get you thinking about what other crazy challenges you could come up with to help Robby raise funds and how we can all contribute to making a difference. All donation links will be in the show notes or description box, depending on where you're listening or watching. Enjoy this conversation with Robby Lippett. Robby.
Hello.
Thank you for chatting with me today. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
We, through all transparency, this is the first time we're meeting.
Yeah.
We don't know each other. But through the power of social media, I found a Instagram post where you were running for charity. And I always like a good charity campaign. But I got to say, when I was reading what you were raising funds for, I was kind of shocked, and I had to reread it because I'm like, surely that can't be a thing. And that was, you're raising funds for the Little Heroes Foundation supporting children with dementia.
Yeah.
And to think that's even a thing really is so crazy. And I told my mum, and she was just heartbroken to even think that's a thing. And I started telling other people and other friends, and they were like shocked. They didn't know it was a thing. So obviously wanted to get you on the show to talk about what you're doing, because obviously there is a need to be talking about this. There is a need for this awareness. So firstly, I actually want to ask how you found out about this, and then, of course, how you started this campaign.
Well, yeah, so running running from Victor Harbour to Glenelg's not a short run. And, yeah, childhood dementia, everyone thinks dementia is for old people. And I put my hand up straight away. I was the same. And we've done a lot of work for Little Heroes Foundation in the past, and through business and social life, we always get around Little Heroes Foundation. They're absolutely amazing what they do. And I do fancy myself as a bit of a average golfer, and they do a lot of golf events. So we were teed up in that, and we've continued to support them for probably the last 4 or 5 years. And they were in a childhood cancer space, and then they've moved into the childhood dementia space. And I've gone, what?
Yeah.
What? Childhood dementia? I thought that only happened for older people. And when you look into it, it's scary. Like, I can't imagine, like, yeah, okay, the elderly, they've lived their life and they've had a really good
Yeah.
run. And, unfortunately, it's a terrible disease. But I can't imagine happening to kids that are, haven't even learnt to run and walk and talk and play, or they have learnt to run, walk, talk, play, but then they lose the ability to do that and they forget. And then eventually their bodies shut down and then it's over. The lifespan's very short. There is no cure. So that was like now, mind blowing.
It really is.
I couldn't process it.
Yeah.
And I sat on the idea of it for ages, and it just ate away at me. And I was like, I need to do something about this. I did want to challenge myself to do a run, but with running, I just hated running. I hated it. And I'm a big, my partner says I'm ADHD and bounce off the walls and can't sit still. But with business, I'm always like, nothing is ever perfect. I've grown a business from, one person to multiple locations with multiple staff, and that's still not enough. I'm like, what's next? And I can never sit still. I never pat myself on the back. Same with soccer. There is a goal at the end of it. There's a championship. With business, there's a goal at the end of it. With running, I had zero motivation. I was lucky I played soccer at a very high level. And I would never go to the gym or I'd never go for a run because there was nothing rewarding at the end of it. Obviously you feel good and your body looks great and stuff like that. But for me, I was like, I'm just so tired from soccer and running. I had zero interest, except for soreness at the end. I was like, I'm just going to be sore. What's the point of running? And I used to drive along and look at people like, oh, runners. Yeah. And now that's me.
You're one of them.
I'm one of them. So yeah, that's where we're at.
So why running? Why? I mean, if it's going to be so hard, why not just, ask people for money? Because this is an incredible cause that needs it.
Yeah. Well, look, I hate running, and the hardest thing for me is putting the shoes on and actually going to do it. And I needed to challenge myself, and that's given me. I need motivation and a goal in the end, and that goal was to run from something ridiculous,
It is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, and also the cause, and I get up and I go for a run. I'm tired, and then I think of why I'm doing this.
Yeah,
and then I'm like, out the door. But I was never a runner. I never ran. 8 weeks ago, I couldn't run around the block. I had a natural fitness from soccer. But I retired last year, and you lose that quickly. I was a defender, so I never used to run far or do much. I was more yelling. And
you're more yelling.
Yeah, just yell and point, make everyone else work around me.
Yeah.
And I was very unfit. You don't realize how unfit and how quickly you lose it. And ran around the block, ran 3Ks, and I was like, wow, I'm gassed. And it took me 4 days to recover. And then I was like, I can do a marathon.
Yeah, easy.
Because that's how my brain works.
Yeah.
Brain works. The easiest thing is not running at all. What's the hardest thing I can do? I'm going to run from Victor Harbour to Glenelg.
Sure.
And that's how quick the decision was made.
Wow.
Yeah. And obviously, being around the Little Heroes Foundation and jumping on that, I was never going to do it without a goal. And that goal was to raise funds and awareness for those guys.
Yeah. That's amazing. And hilarious, and probably really lucky that that's how your brain works.
Yeah, good and bad.
It's good and bad.
Good and bad. I'm already thinking what's next.
Oh my goodness. Well, where are we? June?
Yeah.
Are you even halfway?
No. Well, I asked Siri last night. I think I was like, we're 56 or 57 days in. I was like, why does it feel like a year? And there's still 150 days or something to go till December 1st.
Yes.
Which is the first day of summer.
Yeah. Good one.
And it just happens to be on a Sunday, happens to be the first, and happens to be the first day of summer. So I'm like, you know what? That's a pretty good day to do it.
Yeah.
It's a Sunday as well, and didn't realise how long it was going to take, but we're going to do it.
Well, I'll ask you questions about your training in a moment. But before we get there, let's get some answers around, well, if you have them, childhood dementia. What is it actually? What's happening with children with dementia?
Well, yeah, like I said at the start, I'm heavily uneducated in this, and I the reason why I'm doing this is because, one, I'm very uneducated, and most people, 99% of people are as well.
Completely.
So that was my big cause. It's like, all right, let's raise a lot of awareness for this. It's heavily underfunded as well. They have no research, or they have a little bit of research compared to these other things. And, you know, when childhood dementia kills the same amount as kids as childhood cancer does, there's no cure and there's no research or minimal research. I'm like, there needs to be some type of action towards this. And I guess, like I said, these kids are losing the skills. It progressively gets worse, and then all of a sudden it's over. And I can't imagine, you know, having having a kid that's, you know, got it, that you know that you're going to lose within a certain time, like, you know, 6 years or 10 years or 18 years or however it may be. And I spoke to a lady who's got a daughter with childhood dementia, and she said that exactly that, knowing that I'm going to lose her, I don't know how I'm going to be. And she's, you know, just enjoying every moment. You know, she's washing the dishes and her daughter wants to play, and she just said the dishes can wait. And I was like, wow, it's pretty scary. It's
scary and heartbreaking, and really puts into perspective life and every moment that we have. Do we know how and when it's detected?
Personally, I'm not educated enough on it yet.
Yeah.
I'm learning as we go.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 2 months in it, and I obviously ask a lot of questions, but I'm still learning. Obviously, it's detected via testing, so like biochemical and urine and blood and stuff like that. But how that process is, I'm not familiar, but I will be soon.
You will be.
I hope to head into the Flinders Centre pretty soon. We've been invited out to have a look around that.
Oh, brilliant!
And learn a bit more and speak to the people involved in it. So that will be coming up in the next few months, which I'm really excited about.
Amazing.
And really get in there and see, you know, where the money goes from the Little Heroes Foundation and what it's helping. And that's, that'd be really cool. Obviously, helping families is the main one.
Yeah.
You know, giving them the support they need to make sure their kids having, you know, the best life. And it could be little things as, you know, financial support with, you know, making sure that they're with their children.
Exactly.
And they're not at work.
That's right.
And little things like that. So, but I'm really intrigued to see the research side of it as well.
Yeah. I was reading somewhere that there's oh gosh, I hope I get this number right, but I'll double check afterwards to make sure, but like over 100 genetic disorders.
Yep, correct.
Yeah. Which to me is scary, but also more research around that and understanding what we need to be looking out for as well is really important.
Yeah.
Gosh, do we know the rate of progression? And I know obviously it's going to be different depending on what type disorder.
It is, but, you know, it can progress over months, weeks, years, decades.
Yeah.
And look, and to be honest, I will speak to someone very soon about this in a podcast environment as well, and just throw everything at them.
Brilliant.
Every question I've got in my head that I need, and which is, you know, 99% of the people out there have the same questions.
Yeah,
and just really knuckling down and finding out a bit more about it.
Yeah,
and just spreading that awareness is the main thing.
Exactly, and that's the point of all of this. And I think, you know, these questions really highlight the fact that there needs to be more research done, and these are questions that we want answered. And so how do we get those answers?
Yeah.
Well, we need to support causes like
exactly.
this.
And like I said at the start, when I mentioned what I'm doing and they said childhood dementia, everyone just goes, the eyebrows just go up.
What?
Yeah,
exactly
right. And that's why I chose a ridiculous amount to run
as
well. Like, okay, all right, I'll run 21Ks, a half marathon or a full marathon.
Yeah. That's been done.
Well, no, and take my hat off to those people that do it, because it's hard.
That's true.
I'm not even halfway there yet. And I'm like, how bloody hell am I going to do this? But raising eyebrows, like I was floating the idea around, I was like, what is something that is going to make everyone go, no way you're doing that?
Yeah.
And, you know, if I have to crawl on my lips, I'm doing it. Like,
exactly. This will get done.
Yeah, I'll book an ambulance to pick me up at the end. I pre-ordered
surgery.
I've already booked the room at the hospital, the trips.
Pre-booked.
Yeah, in the wheelchair to push me around for a week.
Well, tell us about it. Like you said, you're not even halfway through your training.
No.
where you're at, how's the body feeling?
Okay, so I'm sore every day.
Okay, right.
I sleep at 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock most afternoon.
Yeah, okay.
No, look, okay, so I went from zero.
Recovery's important.
Yeah, I went from zero, and like you can tell by my personality and how I do things, it's 0 to 100. So I went from, okay, I'm not a runner to the next day in my head.
I'm a runner.
I'm a runner.
Yeah.
So I've got all the gear. I've got all the stuff.
Wait a minute, what's the first thing you bought?
Actually, I got given.
You got
sponsored.
Oh,
yeah.
no. Oh, shout out to the sponsors.
Yeah. I was very lucky that I got sponsored by Sportitude.
Oh, love
which
them.
is like the biggest running company in Adelaide, and they were fantastic. I put up a pair of my shoes and I ran like 5Ks and I had blisters and then the power of social media that got sent to them, and they reached out and said, let's get you in some shoes that aren't going to break your feet.
Yeah.
And then I met with Josh from Sportitude, and he instantly goes, mate, I've got you this whole journey. And he goes, I have 2 trainers training me as well. And they said, yeah, we got you, all your trainers. So brilliant. I've got essentially all the gear.
Noise.
No idea at all. So yeah, I've I was like, all right, met with my 2 trainers, Bowen and Lawson. I said, well, firstly, hey guys, and they're very like me, yes, straight away. And
yeah, great.
I want to run Victor Harbour to Glenelg, and they're like, yep. And I was like, cool, hang up.
Locked in.
And then like
before they can think about it.
Yeah, and then I explained it, and they're like, okay, this is serious, mate. We need to train. And they said, all right, start running. This first month is just find out what your body can do and break it. And I went, what? And then I was like, so in my head,
like, I'd rather not.
Yeah. So in my head, I'm like, all right, I'm a runner now. So like, I was like running and then, getting sore. And I think 3 weeks in, I was running with a few mates and my calf went tight. And I was like, oh, in soccer, if my calf goes tight, I just keep running and it's usually a knock or something, but I've never done a calf. And then I ripped my calf.
Oh, no.
So I did it. I was lucky I caught it straight away. It was like a grade 1 and it was out for 10 days, but I called up Lawson. I was like, well, my body broke.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, well, that's what we want to do. Like, and then I go back into Sportitude and they find out, well, what's going on. And they're like, all right, we need to give you some shoes that take off the loading on your calves. And it's all this crazy science to running where I think you just put on shoes and run.
Exactly.
No way.
Yeah.
Like, it is insane. And, I didn't realize how much I have to eat, drink, the recovery. There's so much to it. And, I'm 2 months in and I feel like I look back at 2 months ago, I was like, what was I doing there? And I'm going to look back in 2 months' time to today and go the same thing. So just baby steps. Look, and the main thing is running, and the running community is actually great.
Yeah.
They're so cool. And like I said, remember I used to drive past these guys going, and now I'm like one of them.
Yeah. You're like, hi.
With my fluoro shirt on and my
fast.
colour shoes and my hat backwards and my sunnies. That's me. And a bit of a program now. So
a
bit
scheduled. When did the program come into it?
After about 3 or 4 weeks, the boys have said just run.
Once you broke yourself?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
And look, I'm now, like, my week consists of 3 or 4 runs, one big run. Last night at 7 o'clock, I was at Plunge on Brighton Road in the 7-degree pool, freezing for leg recovery. And then later today, I'll go to Breathe at Glenelg and, the pants and the cryo chamber. And all these guys have reached out and
that's
offered their
so
support.
good.
So I guess at my age, like I'm 36, physio, chiro, recovery, ice baths, all that nonsense is more important than the actual running for me.
Yeah.
And just learning what my body can and can't do.
Yeah.
But I feel like a full-time professional runner. And I'm like, no, the business needs to continue as well.
You just forgot about everything else.
And I'm like, the business.
Oh, that's right.
And it's not a little business. Like
it's not just one.
Yeah, it's a big thing now.
You've quit your businesses?
No. You know what the hardest thing is? Running is actually the easy part. Well, it's not. It's
not.
But in the scale of hard things, like the raising,
you're a runner now.
Yeah, raising the $80,000 is the hardest.
Yeah.
And at the start when you announce these things, okay, they get a lot of attention.
Yeah.
And because we announce it 6 to 7 months before we're doing it, you get a lot of attention at the start and then it slowly drops down.
Yeah.
And so you got to keep, consistent on social media. But everyone gets a little bit bored of it. And even though we're doing it for a great cause, so we got to come up with ways to spike the donations and do crazy things. Like I had a friend, Matt, who is a very, very good hairdresser, my best friend. He rings me up and goes, I'll give you $500 if you run from one of my salons to the other. And I said, okay. So he called me out on social media and I said, all right, well, if I can raise $500 before midnight, will you run with me? And he's nodded like, and I do yourself a favor and go onto my Instagram and have a look at it because it's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff we had to cut out because of his swearing and attitude, but you'll get the type of personality he is.
Yeah.
And we did that. We raised like $1,700.
Oh, fantastic.
I have another friend, Jordan, who rang me up yesterday and he goes, I will pay you a full day's wage. I'll double a full day's wage. He's a builder.
Right.
He does like excavation and stuff. And he goes, if you come work for me for a day. And like, for those who know me, I've never, ever, like I'll pay someone to move a box. Like I'm not getting my hands dirty. And he knows how uncomfortable that be. And he's got this big, and I said, that's cool. I'll do that. So, and just trying to think outside the box of how we can raise money. Like, Strong Pilates on Richmond Road are sponsoring me. On that, Pilates is so fucking hard.
Yes, it
like,
is.
I take my hat off, and I like my partner Alyssa. She was obsessed with Pilates.
Yeah.
She went 5 times a week, and I was like, "This is stretching."
Yeah.
I was shaking like a shitting.
Was she there with you?
No.
Oh,
she's 6 months pregnant, so she's hating.
Well, still for the entertainment.
She's been trying to get me to go to Pilates forever. I'm like, nah. And but the physios at soccer and the strength and conditioning coach was like, you need to build up your core. And I'm like, nah, I've got 1 year left in my career. I ain't building up my core.
Right.
And then
they're like, no, for life.
Yeah, but then my back started hurting and pinching here and there, and then and the physio's like, you need to build your core up, and they said the word Pilates, and I was like. So Pilates, the Strong at Richmond Road reached out at Keswick and they were fantastic. They invited me to it was a mental health night, all these guys, and I went out there and I was like, oh God. I was shaking like a shitting dog. I'm not even kidding. In the first 30 seconds of this ab thing, warm up, and
it's the stretching, it's not even
it was white as the wall. And I was shaking. I was like, I hated every part of it. I felt like I went 5 rounds with Mike Tyson. Like my body for 3, I was like, there's muscles there and I got home and to Alyssa, I was like, I am so sorry
exactly.
for anything I've ever said and anyone that does Pilates out there.
Yeah, that's right.
I would rather run 50 Ks tomorrow than do Pilates again. And I haven't been back since. And I'm like, but I need to go.
You do?
It took me a week to recover. And I've just been a little bit busy this week, but I need to go this week. And I'm like, I just don't want to feel sore. And
was that on film?
No.
Well, it needs to be.
It needs to be. So we're going to
number one for like proof that you did go. And number two,
bad. And like I'm 6'2" and I can't touch my toes. And I make a lot of noises when I do my shoelaces up and stuff. And the poor trainer was just like, he spent most of the time next to me in the room because he just goes, this guy's got no idea. But it was good fun. And like I couldn't move. My hammies felt like they were going to snap. But I guess that's everyone out there that does Pilates going, you got to do it, Rob. And I'm like, I get it. I will try to do it.
Yeah. It's just like the running for the first time. You saw for a little
it's worse than that.
It's worse.
It is the hardest thing I've ever done.
Yeah?
Yeah. And I challenge anyone out there that has not done Pilates and you think you're great at lifting weights and everything in the gym, go do a session in Pilates with your partner.
Well, that could be another challenge. Calling out. Do you have a lot of like weightlifter buddies?
I do. I've got a brother that's 130 kilos of muscle. I won't finish that sentence, but I'd like to call him out, but he'd just laugh at me. There is a few people that I think would do it.
Yeah.
Firstly, all my trainers, Lawson, Bo, my running partners, George, Johnny, Rob, Mitch, all those boys. I think we should probably do a Pilates session. Like in there, just watching these 50 to 60 kilo girls just doing this crazy stuff. I'm like, I'm like holding the wall.
Yeah, and like 60 to 70-year-olds in there.
There was a guy, and my family friend, her dad was in the class, and he knew who I was. I knew who he was. And after the session, he goes, "Hey, Rob," and I said, "Hey, John." We were facing each other. So every time we were doing something, we were just staring at each other. And he's like, that's how the machines were. Like,
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, and like we were like and we were staring at each other, and he was just like this the whole time. And I was like bending over, and he was just doing it perfectly, and all these things, and I was just like, nah. And after he goes, I said, how many times a week do you come? He's like, 5.
Oh, wow.
And I was like,
yeah.
I've
got a few on you then.
You are insane.
Yeah.
The call on the man.
But have you heard what I'm doing?
Yeah, he just laughed.
Yeah.
He just laughed. Everyone does. So, yeah.
So what's your longest run at the moment?
I built it up. I did 27 is my longest run.
Nice.
Before that was 20. I just jumped. I probably shouldn't say this on camera because the trainers are going to be like, why did you jump that high? But we're trying to do small increments and like one big run a week or one big run every second week, because I feel like when I did the 27K run 2 Sundays ago for the whole week, I struggled after it.
Yeah, okay.
But, I've to learn how to essentially when I'm eating these gels and when I need to stop. So we'll start to run the course a little bit, pretty much from McLaren Vale back to Glenelg. We'll start doing that a couple of times. To be honest, I don't think I'll run more. I don't even know if I'll run a marathon.
Oh, really?
Before it, because I guess one, I'll probably break my body.
Yeah.
And then
it is double that.
And look, the good thing about this run is it's not a race. Like I don't have to run it in, 6 minute, 5.5 minute, whatever it is, kilometers. Sure. I just have to finish it.
Do you have any idea how long you're going to take, or what you're going to be taking?
Quick math. So, I believe, the first 50% of the run is 1,000 kilometer, like uphill.
What?
Yeah, it's a bit like Victor Harbour to Mount Compass is very long.
Wow.
So a lot of uphill running. So I'm doing a lot of like lofty training and uphill stuff.
Yeah.
And look, I don't think I'll be running that quick. So I think, let's just call it, might be doing 7-minute Ks on average across the whole thing. Right there, that's 600 minutes of running or more. So that's 10 hours, and that's without stopping. So I'm guessing it might take 12. And then I'm very lucky I've got like a physio driving with me.
Oh, good one. Yeah, great.
So, if I get a cramp, I can just pull over and the physio table comes out and off we go. So
nice.
There is a lot of support. But who knows how long it's going to take. We have people joining us from certain stages in the second half, which is going to be really cool. But we don't know, we'll give them a rough estimate of what time we'll be there, but I guess they can track us. We'll have it all live on, live updates and stuff. But, look, we'll probably run 5Ks, walk a K, run 10Ks in flat areas. If it's uphill, I will burn out going uphill. That's just how my legs are. Do we walk and eat while we're going up? The amount of food and drink. Like I think I burnt 3,300 calories in that 27K run. Yeah, I was very hungry after that. So imagine doing that consistently. I can't imagine the amount of food I'm going to eat, and that's all part of the journey, I guess. And we've got a lot of people supporting us, and I'm very lucky that Lawson is a nutritionist, sports scientist. Like he is just when he's done plenty of those. Like he ran 100 kilometers 6 weeks ago just for fun on a Saturday. So that's great to have with me.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
So
good to have a crazy person on your side.
They all are.
They all are.
You got to be.
You said in the beginning that you go from 0 to 100. There's no in between. You're either all in or you're all out.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Where did that mentality instilled?
I guess it's more feedback from other people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like, Rob's doing this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But don't get me wrong. There's some things I've done that I've wanted to do in business and it hasn't worked.
Mm-hmm.
And if I get an idea in my head that, it could be something simple like, we plan golf days for our Attaboy team where, we take 100 people to a golf course and we do it as a fundraiser. But this golf day has got to be the best golf day that anyone's ever been to. It can't just be like, all right, guys, we're going to everyone meet at this golf club at 8 o'clock in the morning, get your own way there. I'm like, no, we have to meet at the pub. Everyone gets breakfast. Everyone gets beers. We get on a bus. Everyone's in teams. The carts are color-coded. And then we have a structured day and we raise money and then we have food and we have trophies and we have presentation and everyone gets a bus back and then there's a DJ. Like then that's my 0 to 100. Like it has to be, I do everything. I try to do everything as well as I can.
Yeah.
But in some things, you can't always be like that. But as in like big ideas that I have, I'm really focused.
Yeah.
I can't be like that in everything in life where I just
burn out. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
you sound like it's all about the experience.
Yeah, it's a big journey.
So what's this experience been like for you so far in terms of, the beginning, having the idea, then going forward with it, trying to get this community support around you, the training? What's it all sort of been like for you?
I knew that it would grow, and this whole process was about a journey. You know what? I know in my head that it's illegal to run on Victor Harbour Road. Not many.
What? It's illegal?
Yeah, you can't run on Victor Harbour
is that
Road.
right?
You can't run. You can't just go run on the most dangerous road in Adelaide.
And I'm like, that's a fair call. Yeah, right.
And I'm like,
but I'm gonna.
But along this journey, someone's going to go, and it happened. I know, the police traffic guy, and there's emails going around. They're aware that I'm doing it. I didn't know it was state government road. I thought it was just council approval. So now the state government, I guess, have to get on board and approve it.
Oh.
This is the whole process.
Wow.
Yeah. And, I little things like speaking to surf lifesaving clubs, because we were running along the beach, to get them involved. And you think just one surf lifesaving club, but no, they're all individual and they all hate each other. They were competing. They were competing against each other. And so, running from Seacliff to Glenelg, you're running through like Seacliff, Brighton, West Beach.
Yeah.
There's all these. West Beach is further. Anyway, Glenelg and stuff like that. So all these surf lifesaving clubs, and we're hoping, when I run home, and I know like in this journey that people are going to jump on board. I would love to cross the finish line with 100 people plus. So, for example, you can jump on board and you're like, all right, I'm going to run 15Ks, and you meet us at the 15K check mark, and then you start racing. Am I calling her out here? And then, I'd love running along the beach. It's going to be dangerous running with 100 or 200 people.
Yeah.
Do I have to create an event?
Yeah.
Probably, for, public liability. There's all these little things that come along that are starting to perk up now. And, it'd be great to have, a surf lifesaving buggy parting the seas while we run along the footpath. Like the little things like that we're going to have to do. Because at the end of the day, this run won't happen unless it's 100% safe. And the main thing is, Victor Harbour Road. And we're going to start at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. So we're at pitch.
What?
Yeah, well, because it's the first day of summer. If it's going to be a hot day, we need to run in as less sunlight as we can. And that first half is that big incline. So if we can get, let's say we start at 4 a.m., I'm going to need police escort.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, I can have our support cars with hazard lights on, but someone doing 120 at night.
Yeah.
And anything happening, so the main priority is our safety. We have to have the headlights, we have to have the fluorovis, we have to have support cars in front, behind, signs. And I don't know what that process is, but we're in discussion with the right people now to get that done. And look, if they say, no, you can't run, I'm going to have to add another 20 Ks. I'm going to have to go to like Normanville, my Pongo, and come around that way.
Oh, wow.
And I'll do it if I have to. But realistically, the straightest line is Victor Harbour Road. So, and for safety reasons, I can't have 100 people join me.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, there's some crazy guys out there like me. And my friend Johnny, he called me up as soon as I announced. He goes, I'm running the whole thing with you.
Oh,
and I was like, wicked.
amazing.
And I had another mate going, can I run the whole thing with you? And now we're at the stage where I'm like, got to cap it at about 10 people, guys.
Yeah, right.
Because safety reasons, public liability. And then, essentially when we get to Wollonga, it's all downhill, but we're going to have to take the old hill, Wollonga, the windy one. And that's a dangerous road. So once again, we're going to have essentially police escort or a security company or road traffic control to get us down that road. As soon as we hit Wollonga, we're pretty free to, the safety can turn off, and our vehicles will take over, and we'll have the right vehicles. We'll have them wrapped. We'll have them, everything done. And then, McLaren Vale, pretty much all the runners can join us. And then we'll have stages. We'll run from McLaren Vale to Port Noarlunga to Lonsdale to Merino to home. And then we'll pick up people on the way that want to join.
Amazing. Yeah.
But once again, safety is the most important thing. So we have to map out a track that might not be the quickest route. The safest thing is get off the main roads. So we might have to jump off these main roads and come along I don't really want to do the Hallett Cove Boardwalk, but if that's the safest route, I'll have to add the Hallett Cove Boardwalk on. Yeah. And we've mapped out the track. We have to drive it. We have to run it to work out what is safe.
Yeah.
And then today, safety is the main thing. And if we can't do it, then we'll have to come up with some crazy
You're
ideas.
running
I'll run on the
150 kilometers.
I'll swim around there. So that's how we're going to go.
So what has been the most challenging part? Do you have those people on board, the police, traffic control? Do you have all of that?
Once again, social media is a powerful thing. Very powerful thing. And because we're doing it for such a good cause, it's very easy to get these people's attention.
Yeah.
And then a lot of them are reaching out before.
Great.
I'm very lucky. I've got a friend who owns a very large security company here in South Australia, and they've done some huge events in the past, and they're involved in Live. That anything that comes to entertainment centre, all these big shows, they are the guys that run everything, and they cover every aspect of security. So they reached out. So shout out to Lima One. They're good friends of mine. So Brendan and Glenn, they reached out and they've spoken to the police and hooked us up with a connection, I guess. And essentially what we have to, every box we've got to tick.
Yeah.
And like I said, the main priority is safety. So that's a big hurdle. That is the biggest hurdle that's coming. I know it's coming, and we might get to it like in 3 months' time.
Yeah.
Fundraising. But that $80,000, like I said, is the hardest. I think the easiest thing out of all of this is running. Yeah.
It's the most straightforward.
And
that's not easy.
It's not easy. So, and running my business at the same time, look, my business, when you're a business owner, those that are, business doesn't sleep. The minute I wake up at 6 a.m., my brain's on business, and the minute I go to bed at midnight, and right now I'm thinking about work, and my phone's probably flashing over there, and there's things going on, and me being able to change hats to, my business hat is always on.
Yeah.
But taking that off and going for a run clears my head so much. Like running's doing so well for me mentally as well. But also I'm running, I'm thinking of work, and then I'm making phone calls while I'm running, and so that's a huge hurdle as well. Actually maintaining a essentially a 20-person business with 4 barbershops, another one in Perth, the cafe in Kent Town. Like there's a lot, and I've got a lot of support. I've got great managers. I've got a great operations manager, Mark. I've got a great accountant, and so everything's great in that department. Yeah. But if I did this a year ago, I wouldn't be able to do it, or 2 years ago. There's no way. My business is in a position now that I can, it essentially runs itself with me overseeing it, so I can do little things like this. Yeah. But the last thing I need, if the business slips, that pays wages, it pays bills. There's, there's a lot of mouths to feed in that business. Yeah. That is still my priority, and it always will be.
You gave me anxiety just telling me all about the things that's on your mind.
0 to 100.
Exactly. Does that mean, you just said, that running does offer you that time for yourself? Yes, you're thinking about other things in the middle of all that. But do you think that after this, running will be a part of your life still? Or Oh,
no.
Who are you?
But you know what? I know that I'm going to do something more stupid. I know it. Everyone knows it.
80
my
kilometers?
Staff know it. My, Mark, who's my operations manager, he knows that something's coming up. Like I'll finish this, and next year I'll be like, Melbourne to Adelaide. Like it'll be not saying that, but it'll be something stupid. But I will definitely get back on the business and focus on that. There's some really big moves I want to do in the next 2 years, and unfortunately, you can't do everything. I had to quit soccer. I retired from the level I was playing at, which is a very high level in South Australia, to play amateurs, and playing on Sundays just for the fun of it with your mates is great. But I had to give that up because I can't risk getting injured. And in amateurs, the tackles are a little bit heavier. The players are a bit heavier. Yeah. I always get myself into a bit of trouble on the field. So I'm always limping off or injured. So I had to sit down with my team after 3 or 4 rounds and go, guys, I'm sorry, I need to throw in the towel. This is why. And they went, 100%, Rob. And so I'll be back next year.
After 80 kilometres. I know you said the support has been really awesome. What else are you looking for from the community? How else can people get involved?
Well, to be honest, I just want people to run with me.
Yeah.
And the community's been great. The running, like I said, the running community in South Australia has been huge. There's all these run clubs, Prospect, West Adelaide, Unlee, Social Running Co. All these guys are reaching out, and they're like, "Come run with us, come run with us, come run with us." And and I'm speaking to these groups before I run. I go, "Hey, I'm Robby, not a runner, never have, never will be. I'm running 80Ks," and they're all like, I'm like, "This is why I'm doing it." They're like, "Oh, that's amazing. Can we join you?" And that's what I need. I need people to run with me for two things. One, it's way easier running with a group. And two, those people that jump on board, they might get on the fundraiser. So they can create a link off of my page and say, "All right, I'm going to run." My staff are running 15Ks with me. None of them can run. And they're like, "Yeah, we're doing it. We're training." So they've started their training process. So they've hit up my trainers. They've got programs. They're running. And they're starting to raise money. So they might go, "All right, we're going to try to raise $5,000 or $2,000 or $1,000. And then that pot gets bigger very quickly. If everyone comes in. If I was doing it by myself, there's no way I'd raise over 50. But now that, we're at $25,000 now, and it jumped from 15 to 25 after me announcing people to join. So now people that are joining, that money is just coming from everywhere and the community. And I would love to run with hundreds of people. It'd be so cool.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to make noise, I guess.
Exactly. So tell us more about that. How can people get groups together and, would you say, raise funds with your link?
Essentially, like I've done all this off my personal Instagram, and I, it's Robin of Loxley, which my name's Robby Lippett, but everyone's like, "Where's Loxley from?" And I'm like, "It's actually where Robin Hood was born, Loxley." So it's like Robin, I don't know why. Anyway, it's been like that for years. And the only way you can sort of join is through my Instagram link. So people are reaching out, private messaging me saying, "Hey, I'm keen." And I'm just going, "Yep, cool. What's your email?" And I'm sending them all the email information about it. They create their own link. They start training. We're giving them the options to get a program from our trainers, to go to our physios, to go to our recovery places. There's all these discount codes, Pilates, whatever they need. We are making sure that they're getting looked after. Even like Sportitude for running apparel, there's a discount code for them.
Amazing.
So, bringing everyone in is my main goal. I guess.
So they just need to get in touch with you.
So sorry, just get in touch and on my Instagram and message me saying, "Yeah, I'm keen." And when I speak to these big groups, a lot of people are doing it that way, and all they got to do is jump onto my Robby Run link, which is like a fundraising page, and then they can start a team. They can start a team under my category, and that might be individual or it might be a team where, there might be 10 of you, and you can come up with a name and go, "I'm going to try to raise $5,000 or $2,000 or $10,000.
Brilliant.
And then off we go. They start their campaign, they start their own, and then we'll do some fun runs and organise some events along the way. So
I'm really keen to see what other challenges people have for you. I think it's what's the craziest thing that
I think my mate Geordie, this excavation one, because he knows I'm going to split a pipe in a bobcat or something like that. Because I've never worn.
I hope he's got
never worn high vis before.
Insurance.
Imagine me in high vis and boots, just going around with a shovel or a spade or whatever they call it.
Where do you need me?
Rob, go grab me the shovel and I go get a broom. And he's just like, "Go sit in the truck."
Just dust the dirt.
But look, look, there's some people out there that have come up with some crazy ideas. There's some, like look at MJ, for example, his hair one, run from one salon to the other was like 17Ks and we raised $1,700.
Yeah.
Challenge me. I'm keen to do something fun. And you know what? It's great from a business side. Some of our videos are getting 20, 30,000 views. Yeah. So don't get me wrong. Yes, it's for a great cause, but it's also a bit of fun for the business as well. And get on board. And look, it's end of tax time.
Yeah.
This week. So
you've got a business and a financial
year. Tax deduction.
Get on to Robby.
Yeah, make me run. Or don't make me run. Just donate me money. It'd be easier.
Or just work for them.
Yeah. Pick up my tab at the chiropractor.
Brilliant. What's been the most fun thing so far?
Every week something crazy happens. Like I've got a meeting tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. with Australian Motors. I don't know why. But they want to meet to me. Cool. They want to speak to me. Hopefully maybe it's a support car. Maybe it's, "Hey Rob, here's a brand new Pajero." No, but who knows? Like I know that, there's these companies along the way that want to reach out, and I played golf a few weeks ago with a gentleman that owns a concrete company, and he's like, yeah, man, I'll drive the concrete truck in front of you as like an escort for a section. I'm like, cool. Cool.
Brilliant.
Like, I'm all down for crazy things.
Yeah.
But the good thing is this journey, like, I know some cool things are going to come up.
Yeah.
I've had some phone calls from news places and radio stations, and I've said I'm not quite ready yet. I don't want to overwhelm myself at the start, because at the start it was just like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, thanks, but can we chat in 3 months when I know how to run and I'm a little bit more settled, and we can plan it a bit more. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I'm going to say no to anyone, to be honest. Like, the more awareness and more structure is better. So yeah, who knows what's next? And that's the fun part. And,
exactly.
I keep up to date on my social media, and I'm very lucky that I've got Clubhouse Media. Mark is shooting this whole thing, start to finish. He's done all my videos. He's got drones. He's doing crazy things. He's got mics. He's all about it.
Yeah.
And he is helping me spread the awareness more than anyone. So, the persons that outside of all these runners and trainers, and Mark's the one that's helping me the most.
The latest video
Insane.
that he did.
Tearjerker.
So good.
Insane.
So good. We'll have a link.
He's a great man. Yeah.
Nice.
So anyway, hit up Clubhouse Media for all your media stuff.
Is there anything that we've forgotten to mention that people need to know?
No. Just I'm an idiot and I'm running from Victor Harbour to Glenelg.
And you need to support it.
Yeah. Sunday, December 1st to raise $80,000 for the Little Heroes Foundation.
Amazing.
And that's it.
That's it. Robby, you're awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been great. Cheers. I'm 0 or 100 with everything that I do. Whether it's my business, my sport, or personal, I'm all in or I'm all out. There is no in between. There has to be a goal, a reward. I had no interest in running. It had no reward for me until now. I'm Robby Lippett. I'm 36 years old. I'm Adelaide born and bred. I'm a small business owner, a recently retired soccer player, and about to become a dad for the first time. On Sunday, December 1st, I'm running 80 kilometres from Granite Island Jetty in Victor Harbour to Glenelg Jetty in hope to raise $80,000 for the Little Heroes Foundation in support of childhood dementia. Dementia is progressive, but this happening to children is scary. Over time, their brains are damaged more and more. They progressively lose skills that they've already developed, such as the ability to write, read, talk, walk, and play. I was shocked to find out that childhood dementia kills the same amount of kids as childhood cancer does. Sadly, there is no cure. I'm doing this to raise awareness, to educate everyone, to give these families much needed support, and most importantly, hope.
Thank you so much for listening or watching today. Click the links in the show notes or the description box and make sure you donate whatever you can to this incredible cause. It really needs all the support and awareness that we can bring. So click the links, and if you want to start a group or a run yourself, then make sure you head over to Instagram, get in touch with Robby and get that going as well. Bring in as many people as you can. Make sure you share it with your friends and rate this episode 5 stars. It would really help the podcast keep growing and get to those who want to hear more of these stories as well. So thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. Stay awesome, and we'll catch you in the next one.